By Sri Lanka's best internet package for online learning and online working with many amazing offers. Call 1212 for more information. Sri Lanka Telecom.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50ට අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට එකක් බොමු.
Tonight, the cloud and the silver lining. Sri Lanka loses another citizen to COVID-19. However, the number of active cases continue to tumble. Not in the clear yet. The epidemiology unit warns that the virus threat isn't over.
People who are having other chronic diseases should not go out unnecessarily.
Easter tax probe. Zahran Hashim had been eyeing to set up a facility in Kandy back in 2016. Failed escape. A hitman of Angodaloka shot dead. All that and much more coming up on First at 9. This Sunday, the 23rd of August, 2020.
Nava sunlight sakura. Then Dikukal pavathina sakura mal suandin.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhamma Kekanai. Let's start with your local stories. Now, Sri Lanka suffered its 12th COVID-19 fatality last night, 82 days after the 11th death. The victim, however, had suffered from various underlying health conditions, with cancer being chief among them, which in turn had severely weakened her immune system. The final rites of the victim was also performed today at the Kotikawata General Cemetery with strict adherence to international guidelines pertaining to COVID-19 deaths. The COVID-19 virus claimed another victim last night, taking the country's total number of fatalities to 12, 82 days since the 11th COVID-19 fatality was reported on the 1st of June. The victim was identified as a 47-year-old woman who had returned from India on the 20th of this month. Upon testing positive for COVID-19, she had been directed to the Iranavila hospital in Putlam to undergo treatment. However, she had been transferred to the intensive care unit of the infectious diseases hospital in Angoda on the 21st of this month, as she was a diabetic and a cancer patient. The victim, a resident of Mavatagama in Kurunagala, had travelled to India 6 months ago to receive treatment for cancer. According to the chief epidemiologist of the epidemiology unit, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, the patient had died last night due to heart failure. The victim's husband, who was undergoing quarantine, was allowed to take part in the final rites of his spouse, which were held at the Kotikawata General Cemetery in adherence to international guidelines on dealing with COVID-19 deaths. In the meantime, PCR tests continue to be conducted across the island, with the number now totalling 202,907. Meanwhile, a total of 444 Sri Lankans were repatriated today. 239 of them are from Australia, 110 from Kenya, 31 from Dubai, 19 from Kuwait and 45 from Seychelles. The returnees were subjected to PCR tests and directed to quarantine centres.
සමහර අයුරුන් දන්නේ නැතුව කියනවා මම හිතන්නේ විදේශ රටවල් වල සිටින ශ්‍රී ලාංකේයන් රැගෙන්නේ නැහැයි කියලා සමහර අයුරුන් නගන ප්‍රශ්නයක් තමයි ඒ ගේන්න බැරි ඔක්කොම කියලා දැන්ටත් 7000කට අධික සංඛ්‍යාවක් මේ ආකාරයෙන් නිරෝධයන් වෙමින් පවතිනවා. එතකොට මේ 7000ක් කියන්නේ සුළු සංඛ්‍යාවක් නෙමෙයි. ශ්‍රී ලාංකයන් ගෙනෙද්දී අපි දකිනවා සමහර රටවල් වලින් කොවිඩ් ආසාදිතයන් තමයි පැමිණෙන්නේ. එක්කෙනෙක් හිටියත් ඇති කොවිඩ් සාමාන්‍ය විශාල ප්‍රමාණයකට කොවිඩ් පැතිරීමට. ඉතින් ඒකින්ද මේක අපේ රටේ සියලුම ජනතාව දන්නව මොනතරම් අමාරුවෙන්ද පතුරුවීම වළක්වා ගැනීමට උන් කරපු කැපකිරීම. ඉතින් ඒක හින්දා මේ ආකාරයෙන් නොනවත්වාම මොවුන් රැගෙන එමින් සිටිනවා. නිරෝධායන මධ්‍යස්ථාන පවත්වාගෙන ඒ වගේම අනෙකුත් සමාජය ආරක්ෂා කරගෙන ඉදිරි කාලයේදී ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට විදේශ රටවල් වල ඉන්න අයවලුන් ගෙන්නා ගැනීමට කටයුතු කරන නමුත් සැලසුමකට අනුව තමයි මේ ආකාරයට රැගෙන එන්න වෙන්නේ.
In other developments, grades 1 to 5 of Dhamma schools resumed educational activities today. The move comes after the resumption of grades 6 to 13 last week. Meanwhile, a total of 7 persons were discharged from hospital today after fully recovering from the coronavirus. 4 new COVID-19 cases, however, were also confirmed within the island today. This places the number of active COVID-19 cases at 134 and the overall number of COVID-19 recoveries at 2,805.
Enjoy a very smooth shave with the Bic Easy 2 razor. Bic Easy 2.
Now, the Chief Epidemiologist of the Epidemiology Unit, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, once again highlighted the fact that people need to continue to adhere to health and safety guidelines, as there could be a COVID-19 infected person who might have slipped under the radar. Speaking to First at 9, Dr. Samaravira also expressed views on the newly announced Russian vaccine, while insisting that people with chronic diseases should not venture out unnecessarily.
Currently, we are reporting COVID-19 new cases only among people who are returning from other countries and under quarantine in our quarantine centers. During the recent number of days, we have not reported any new cases that is acquired locally. So that is a good thing when we consider the control of the disease in the country. But still, we can't say that there are no COVID-19 cases among our society. There could be cases of COVID-19 that missed in the society. So because of that, all the people from the school child to the elderly, that everybody should take precautions when they are in the society. One of the main thing is that the elderly people, as well as the people who are having other chronic diseases like diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, kidney diseases, should not go out unnecessarily. They should confine to their houses as much as possible and stay safe in their homes. If anybody is going out to society, they should maintain 1 meter distance from other people and also should wear a mask properly covering their nose and mouth. Also, they should wash their hands with soap and water frequently or use a hand sanitizer to clean their hands. Also, they should not touch their face frequently. That is very much important for us to maintain the achievements that we have already achieved in COVID-19 control in our country.
He went on to say that with the resumption of schools and with school hours returning to pre-pandemic times for grade 10, 11, 12 and 13, the school children mixing in society is significant.
With the opening of the schools and the now rescheduling of the schools, advanced level or the higher grade classes, there will be a lot of children in the society as well as in the school mixing up with other people. So with that, if there are that undiagnosed cases in the society, there is a risk that the disease can spread. So because of that, all the people, including these school children, should adhere to hygienic precautions.
Dr. Samaravira also said that the country will only use the alleged Russian COVID-19 vaccine once it has been endorsed by the World Health Organization and once the data on the drug has been shared with the island.
If the Russian vaccine is available, also it should be accredited or endorsed by the World Health Organization and other clinical experts on vaccines. We also need the data on the vaccine, how it is effective, against whom it is being tested, how the immunogenicity with this vaccine, what are the side effects, how it will be suitable to our country will be decided with those information. With that, we will be able to decide how that vaccine will be administered to Sri Lankans.
Now, Easter Sunday terror attacks ringleader Zaran Hashim had been eyeing a plot of land in Kandy as far back as in 2016 to set up what he had termed a centre. This was told by founder of the Nelligal International Buddhist Centre in Kandy, Venerable Waturakumbure Dhammaratana Thera, as he testified before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the Easter attacks. The Commission also heard that Zaran accused the Thera of blocking the chance to teach the Muslim community a lesson when the mosques were protected by Dhammaratana Thera during the communal conflicts of Digana. The terrorist had been in support of another terrorist, Velupille Prabhakar. The founder of the Nelligal International Buddhist Centre in Kandy, Venerable Waturakumbure Dhammaratana Thera, gave evidence before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the Easter Sunday terror attacks of 2019 yesterday. During his testimony, the Thera said that the construction work of the Nelligal International Buddhist Centre was launched in 2014 at a government-owned plot of land near the town of Murutalava with the consent of the Land Commissioner General's Department. The Thera added that most of the surrounding land was owned by the Muslim community and he also had to purchase most of the land when constructing the centre. Recalling a memory from 2016, the Thera said that 5 Muslims inspected a plot of land adjacent to the Buddhist centre in the month of June. The Thera said that a junior member of the clergy captured the group on a mobile phone, and the person in the photograph clad in a turban and white and orange attire is Zahran Hashim. He went on to say that Zahran later came near the monastery with his group and told him that they had come from Kattankudi. Dhammaratana Thera told the commission that Zahran spoke in Sinhala language with great proficiency and asked the Thera whether he would object to them purchasing the land which they inspected. When the Thera replied that he would, Zahran had said that a mosque will not be built at the inspected plot of land and instead a centre will be built. The Thera noted that it was his understanding that Zahran meant to set up a social service centre. Zahran had then highlighted the multi-religious aspect of the Ambuluava Biodiversity Complex and had requested the Thera to refrain from objecting to his proposal. After Zahran and others left, the Thera had asked the Muslim owner of the land whether he had any designs of selling it. The answer, however, had been no. Zahran's next visit to Nelligal International Buddhist Centre had been in March of 2017, accompanied by around 50 Muslim youth. Dhammaratana Thera told the commission that Zahran came to the temple and requested some tea, if it is not too much trouble, since they had travelled far. Recalling the discussion during tea, the Thera said that Zahran was highly critical of traditional Muslims, insisting that true and correct Islamic faithful will never worship Prophet Muhammad. He had also gone on to express views in support of the slain LTTE leader Velupille Prabhakaran, saying that the estate workers would not have to suffer hardships had they supported Prabhakaran. Zahran's third and final visit to the Nelligal International Buddhist Centre in Kandy had been in the August of 2017. Expressing views from a strong religious stance, Zahran had said that the teachings at traditional mosques is not the true teachings of Allah. Dhammaratana Thera also noted that on a later date, a radio program on religious extremism which he participated in was uploaded to Facebook, which prompted Zahran to call him and have a debate about the program whilst presenting various arguments. The Thera went on to say that he provided a videotape of the communal conflict which erupted in Digana to the BBC Sinhala service. Later, Zahran had called the Thera and accused him of blocking the chance to teach the Muslim community a lesson. Zahran had also accused the Thera of cunning in protecting the mosques and had asked whether he did so to rob the land from the rest of the Muslim people. In January of 2019, Zahran had once more called Dhammaratana Thera, and during that conversation, the Thera had inquired from Zahran about the vandalism of statues of Lord Buddha in Mavanella. Zahran's response had been, quote, "That is how some people in our society who are under pressure release the pressure," unquote. Dhammaratana Thera added that Zahran had even vehemently insisted a video on Islamic extremism the Thera posted on the internet be taken down. The Thera further said that he held a special discussion at Nelligala on the prevalent extremist actions with Abdul Razik of Ceylon Tawhid Jamaat and Tawfiq Ahmed of Sri Lanka Tawhid Jamaat. Uploading the video of that discussion onto the internet had also enraged Zahran, which prompted him to call the Thera on the 23rd of February in 2019 and level threats. Zahran, who had addressed the Thera with respect up until then, had reverted to more derogatory terminology and had accused the Thera of gearing up to destroy their race. Recalling the conversation, Dhammaratana Thera told the commission that Zahran accused him of being a cunning man, unlike Jnanasara Thera. The Thera noted it to be the last telephone conversation he had with Zahran. After the Easter Sunday terror attacks, however, Dhammaratana Thera had heard the name Zahran on media and had hurried to the Nelligal International Buddhist Centre with fear. By the time the Thera arrived at the centre, around 2,000 devotees had flocked there. In fear of an attack on the centre, Dhammaratana Thera had made the devotees aware of the situation via a PA system and had ensured that the crowd dispersed within 5 minutes. The Thera told the commission that he then informed the army and the then IGP on the matter. Following the attacks on Easter Sunday last year, the Thera had received a letter on the 14th of May bearing the logos of ISIS and Zahran's Tawhid Jamaat organisation. Dhammaratana Thera revealed the contents of the said letter to the commission, saying it contained threats to his life, while it also mentioned the matter Zahran discussed when he visited the temple. The Thera added that despite informing the matter to various responsible parties, this Presidential Commission is the first to pay any attention to it. Founder of the Nelligal International Buddhist Centre in Kandy, Venerable Waturakumbure Dhammaratana Thera told the Commission that since some of Zahran's operatives are still at large, he suspects that there persists threats against him. We will see you shortly after this break. Stay with us.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, the last 48 hours have yielded numerous arrests of underworld figures and drug racketeers. But one suspect who attempted to break away from police custody was gunned down. Police said the deceased from last night's incident is a hitman in underworld figure Angoda Lokka's criminal gang.
A member of the underworld figure Angoda Lokka's criminal gang named Chaminda Vijayasuriya, alias Chamia, was shot dead by police in the area of Orugoda in Gampaha last night. The suspect had been in police custody and had been taken to the area to obtain information on a drug racket. The suspect had then seized a weapon from a police officer and had opened fire. The police, however, had opened retaliatory fire, during which the suspect had been killed on the spot. The 41-year-old is a former army soldier. Chamia is also identified as one of the chief suspects' murder of the underworld figure Samayan back in 2017 in the area of Ethanamadala in Kalutara, when a bus was shot at, killing 7 persons, including 2 prison guards. During last night's incident, an officer attached to the Paliagoda police station sustained injuries and is currently receiving treatment at the district hospital of Gampaha. In the meantime, the Colombo Crime Division arrested 4 suspects, including the criminal gang member Vele Saranga, at the Bandaranaike International Airport while attempting to leave for Dubai. The arrest was made at around 2 a.m. today after the Department of Immigration and Immigration was tipped off. 2 of the arrested suspects, Gamage Saranga Pradeep, alias Vele Saranga, and Ranasinga Arachige Ishara Lakmal, are identified as chief suspects in smuggling Kerala cannabis to the country, while the remaining 2 are accomplices of underworld figure Angoda Lokka. In another development, the crime division of the Biyagama police station arrested Rexy Kumara, an accomplice of underworld figure Kaduwela Gotha Asanka, who is currently under remand custody. The arrest was made during a search operation conducted upon instructions of the senior DIG in charge of the Western Province, Deshabandhu Tennakon. The suspect is known to be a close associate of underworld figure Kanjipani Imran. What's more, 6 grams of heroin and 4 swords were also found from the possession of the suspect. In the meantime, the anti-corruption unit of the Kalutara Police Division arrested Padagoda Busia, who is a key drug racketeer of the underworld figure Makondare Madush, who is currently under detention. Furthermore, police also seized 20 grams of heroin and 4 mobile phones from the suspect. Meanwhile, 2 accomplices of Dharmasiri, the main suspect who handled the assassination of cricketer Dhananjay Silva's father Ranjan Silva and the shooting at the hotel in Soisapura, were arrested at the Belekkade junction in Ratmalana yesterday. The suspects are said to have distributed drugs of Dharmasiri. Police also took 480 packets of narcotics, which amounted to 11.64 grams of heroin and a pickup truck, into custody. Elsewhere in Paliagoda, the Western Province North Anti-Corruption Unit arrested a 48-year-old suspect with 28.29 grams of heroin in possession. In another development, officers of the Piliyandar police arrested 30 people, including 15 women, who were evading court despite warrants being issued for their arrest during a raid conducted in the area today. In the meantime, senior DIG in charge of the Western Province, Deshabandhu Tennakon, inspected the construction work of the Special Crimes Division building of the Kalutara district.
අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමා සහ ගරු අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමා විසින් මද්‍රව්‍ය ජාවාරම ඒ වගේම සංවිධානාත්මක අපරාධ කල්ලි සහ මුලින්ම මේ රජෙන් තුරන් කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් අවශ්‍ය කටයුතු වහාම ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන ලෙස පොලිසිය ලබා දුන් උපදෙස් අනුව හොඳ සංවිධානාත්මක සැලැස්මක් අපි ක්‍රියාත්මක කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒකට පැහැදිලිවම අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ දැක්ම අනුව විනයකරු රටක් සකස් කිරීම සඳහා විශාල බාධාවක් වෙලා තියෙන මේ මද්‍රව්‍ය ප්‍රශ්නය සහ ඒ වගේම සංවිධානාත්මක අපරාධ කල්ලි වල අවසානයක් දක්වා විශේෂයෙන් පොලිසිය, විශේෂකාර්ය බලකාය, රාජ්‍ය බුද්ධ්‍යංශය සියල්ල එකතු කර ගැනීමෙන් මේ වැඩපිළිවෙල අඛණ්ඩවම ක්‍රියාත්මක.
Moving on with other local stories, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa believes that it's better to make Dhamma school attendance for Buddhist children mandatory to some extent. His comments come as the country commemorates 125 years of Dhamma schools in the island.
A ceremony to commemorate 125 years since the establishment of Dhamma schools in Sri Lanka was worked off today under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Kasagala Temple in Kurunegala. The event also saw the launch of the new website of the Department of Buddhist Affairs.
සත්‍ය කතන්දරය තමයි රටක ආර්ථික සංවර්ධනයට ප්‍රධානතම හේතුව වන්නේ සදාචාර සංවර්ධනයයි කියන බව. දැන් අපිට ඉතාමත් පැහැදිලිවම ළඟදිම මේක ඔප්පු වුණානේ. පෙරයිදා රටේ බුද්ධ්‍යංශයේ නායකයා අඬ අඬා සාක්ෂි දෙනවා පාස්කු ඉරිදා ප්‍රහාරය ගැන. මොකද්ද මේකෙන් ඔප්පු වුණේ? බුද්ධ්‍යංශ ශක්තිමත් නොතිබුණාද? අපේ හමුදා ශක්තිමත් නොතිබුණාද? නමුත් බෝම්බ පිපිරෙන්නේ නැතුව ඇරියද? පාස්කු ඉරිදා පත් වුණා. මොකද්ද හේතුව? වගකිව යුත්තන් තුල සදාචාරය නොමැතිවීම. ඉහළ සිට පහළට පහළ සිට ඉහළට සදාචාරය ක්‍රියාත්මක නොවන තැන හමුදාවෙන් වැඩකුත් නැහැ, අනිත් ආර්ථික සත්‍යයෙන් වැඩකුත් නැහැ. ජනතාව අනතුරේ.
මේ දහම් පාසල් නිසා තමයි දේශීයත්වය සාරධර්ම රට තුල ආරක්ෂා වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, අපේ දරුවන් තුල ආරක්ෂා වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා. දහම් පාසල් වලට ගිය පිරිස් වලින් අපරාධ සිදු වෙනවා අඩුයි කියලා තමයි සමීක්ෂණ වල අපිට දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. නිසා දහම් පාසලට යැවීම අනිවාර්ය කිරීම කළ යුතුයි. එක්තරා විදිහක අපි හිතනවා විශාල දරු පිරිසක් බෞද්ධ අධ්‍යාපනය ලබන්නේ නැහැ දහම් පාසල් තුලින්. දැන් මේ පිළිබඳව සොයා බැලිය යුතුව තියෙනවා. මේ පිළිබඳව කටයුතු කරන්න අවශ්‍ය යුගය අද ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවායි කියලායි මා දකින්නේ. ඒ නිසා ඒ ආරම්භ කරපු ඒ ක්‍රියාවලිය අපි ඉදිරියට ගෙන ගිය යුතුව තියෙනවා.
Now, the Ministry of Justice has decided to appoint a panel of experts to draft the proposed new constitution. A spokesman for the ministry stated that the board will be appointed in the near future. Approval was granted to remove the 19th Amendment to the Constitution and draft a 20th Amendment at the recent cabinet meeting. A cabinet subcommittee consisting of 5 ministers, including Minister of Justice Ali Sabri, was also appointed for the matter. The main function of the subcommittee is to make submissions to the cabinet on points to be amended in the 19th Amendment and to be included in the 20th Amendment. The spokesman for the ministry said that the amendments to the existing issues of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution will be made by the legislative draftsman. We will see you shortly. Bear with us. Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, Chinese video app TikTok, that is set to launch legal action to challenge a ban imposed by US President Donald Trump. TikTok said that it has tried to engage with the Trump administration for nearly a year, but has encountered a lack of due process and an administration that pays no attention to facts. TikTok expects the legal action to begin this week, and a group of Chinese Americans filed a separate lawsuit against the Trump's similar ban on social media app WeChat, which is owned by the Chinese firm Tencent. Trump claims China is able to use the app to trace the locations of federal employees, collect information for use in blackmail or spy on companies. However, TikTok denies such, stating that it has never handed over any US user data to Chinese authorities. Now, the positive sentiment witnessed in the market last week is expected to continue in the fresh week starting from tomorrow at the Colombo Bourse. What's more, buying interest is also predicted on the apparels and construction sector, with the export recovery and expectation in the revival of infrastructure projects. Sri Lankan shares rose for a 4th straight session last Friday and recorded their best weekly performance since late June. Now, let's take a look at what can be expected at the CSE in the coming week.
Looking at the upcoming week, we feel that market's positive sentiment that was there last week is likely to continue in the upcoming week as well, considering the significant investor interest that's there in the market. With the lower interest rate environment that is there, we see that significant amount of cash is continued to getting transferred into stocks, which is giving strong buying interest. This is mainly among the local investors. With some of the positive results that are coming, we feel that there could be further buying interest specifically into the undervalued banking sector counters, which are drawing strong investor interest and also specifically retail interest as well. In addition, we feel that some of the mid-cap counters, specifically in the apparel sector and even construction sector for that matter, are likely to draw some interest considering the recovery in exports and also expectation of revival of some of the infrastructure projects.
And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.